And I hope everybody know that my starting slogan is "You ain't never ready.
I'm ready.
You ain't never.
I was born ready. Hey, I came out the womb ready. I'm ready to go.
You don't even know what ready is.
How's the weekend? How's the weekend though? Don't matter.
It just started.
What? Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, see, you don't even know what day it is.
I don't. But yeah. I mean, hold on, trying to get everything set up.
My weekend started bad. I made a couple bets. The Lakers destroyed me. I don't even want to talk about it. It's not about me. Nah, it's not about me today.
It's not about you. I had a good weekend. I had a real good weekend, man.
But what's going on? Who we got on the other side of the world from us? First off, they already know one
Yeah,
guy.
Chief Gilbert. I don't even know if you need to do your intro again.
We need to just stamp your name right there somewhere.
But no, Chief Gilbert, go ahead. Introduce yourself for everybody who hasn't seen this yet.
All right, Andy Gilbert. I am the senior enlisted leader out here at 380th Expeditionary Civil Engineering Squadron at now DAFRA. I'm here for a year, and I'm CE by trade, but I'm everybody's Aaron.
Oh, shoot.
I like that. Who the other special guest we got down there?
A twin.
Special guest. Introduce yourself, man.
That is my twin over there, Andy. I miss you and I love you. My name is Kristy Wiener, and I'm an aviation resource manager by trade. I am currently at Barksdale Air Force Base, where I am the functional manager for my career field. And I am just like Andy, and I'm a people leader. You don't have to be.
You know how we do. We always unorthodox with the thing. We don't never script nothing. But the fact that y'all met via top three, right? And I know every base, for the most part, should have a top three. It does have a top three. Let's talk about that for a little bit, right? When you say top three, right? The top three. What does that mean to you? What should be the focus of the top three? Chief Wiener, you want to take that one?
Absolutely. I honestly think the focus should be to develop our senior NCO Corps. That's where the heart and soul of the top three should be. It's not about fundraising. Yes, that's a part of it to be able to do more things, but we should be growing and developing our senior NCOs together and really highlighting that we are stronger together. Whenever you see private organizations or even just offices or, you name it, where the people are, trying to one up each other or, get ahead or whatever, you see it breaks. Every productivity breaks down. There's arguments. Like it's just not a positive thing. So I feel that top three is all about developing one another.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Chief G?
I can add to that. So I'll tell you, I wanted to be a senior NCO for a long time because of the positive senior NCOs that I saw. And when I got to the top three, I was the most disappointed. I literally had somebody that was my boss literally telling me I need to slow down, and he was like trying to hold me back. I guess in his eyes, we were the same AFSC, and here I am as a master select, and he's been a master sergeant for like 4 years, and I guess he saw me as a threat based on the things that I was doing. Mm-hmm. Whereas my mindset is, hey, if Kristy knew something that I didn't, I could learn from her, right, and vice versa. So even in my younger years, trying to get into the 5.6 when I first got involved, I didn't get involved because I didn't like what it was representing.
Right.
So I remember a first sergeant told me, like, you don't like it, get in there and change it. So so the top three to me, just like Kristy said, it's about developing each other because I have to train my replacements. If I don't do that, then I'm putting the Air Force in bad hands. So right. I see that as, you've heard before, iron sharpens iron. That's what it's about. You could always learn from somebody, and you got to take that mantra and pass it off.
I gotta ask you, your attitude and everything is always positive around me, always real happy and upbeat. Where does that come from? How do you just wake up like that? Is it the coffee you drink? Are you about to plug Red Bull, or where does that come from?
So 100% honest, it's God. Like I'm going to put credit where credit is due, and the man upstairs, this is how he blessed me. I'm much more calmer now than I was growing up, if you can only imagine that. My husband, it annoys him a little bit sometimes because I wake up and I'm like, hey, let's play, and he's like, oh, can you sit down? But it's all natural. Like I'm truly an optimistic person, and I am blessed with a lot of energy, which helps me stay fit.
Yeah. And Chief Gilbert, you got a good balance of, I remember you got my butt one time, but you got a good balance of having playful time and then having serious time. Where does that come from? Is that some of your Commandant experience, or where does that come from? Or is that just who you are?
I think that's just who I am. I think I evolved over the years because in my younger years, I was not a good airman. I would just joke around all the time. And then when I became an NCO, so I was at my first base for 7 years, and I sold on my first 4 stripes at that base. So people still saw me as an airman, even though I was an NCO because we all came up together.
Mm-hmm.
And when I needed to be a staff sergeant, they're like, bro, like you were just taking shots yesterday. What you want to tell me what to do today? So it was a early lesson for me as far as where that line is.
Yeah.
But if I ever get serious, like you said, I got in your butt the other day, I don't remember what that was about. But
Oh, it's like
because
it was a couple months ago, but it feels like the other day. It was a
Okay.
couple months ago.
It's more so because I want you to be a better chief than me. So if I could, course correct you on something that you're straying on, then that the earlier you learn, the better, and then you could pass that to somebody else.
I think we got to. Some people have hard times. And man, you was talking about this. We got to recognize when we have a teaching moment, right? Like some people see situations and then they just blow right past it or they give it up, right? And that was your moment to have a moment to sit down and teach somebody and show somebody something that could make them better. And we have to constantly be aware of what's going on with the people left, right, north, and south, right? And it involves us getting away from just focusing on ourselves, right? Being able to make people better, because like you said, Chief, we have to train our replacements. I don't want to be that person that gets out the Air Force and come through the gate, and because I failed to do my job, years, and I come through the gate and airmen don't know what the heck ID is supposed to look like. Like where did, you know what I mean? Where did I fail at? Because I was just there, 30, 60 days ago. Now the people behind me don't know left from right. Like I failed at some point. That's how we have to feel. But people don't like to own it. They don't like to own where they screw up. It's just, oh, that wasn't my job, so I wasn't responsible for it. We got to own our own ish, like that's where it starts at. Understand what my job is, what my responsibility is, and taking care of people.
I got go ahead, Chief.
No, I was just saying I agree.
I got a question for both of y'all. I just got asked this a while ago, or not too while, about a week ago. It's actually a real good question. I want to get your opinion on it. So you're put in a new position, and you have to give Chief Wiener, I'm gonna steal your saying of corrective feedback because I like that more negative feedback. Corrective feedback. But you have somebody new that you haven't really, blended with. You're not really sure how they are, how they operate, how they take feedback. What's your best approach of that with that?
Okay. That is a great question. So I think it's a variable, right? We're going back to that human factor. People take things differently, right? So if I heard you right, it's how do you correct someone who you don't know very well yet or haven't had that bond with? Mm-hmm. And I think that it starts with being honest, like hands down. Trust isn't built by lying or sugarcoating or walking on eggshells, as you said before. And it's just about being honest. And tact also has a play to do in it, especially if you don't know the person, very well. Then using tact is going to help you.
Agreed. And I'll say, so, Pete, think about when I came to the security forces, right? Mm-hmm. I know a couple of you, but I didn't know all of you.
Right.
And if I saw somebody doing something, that's when it's business. Like, hey, this is what's going on. This is why. And then the very next sentence, we're back to normal, right? So they realized that was business. That's not how you don't lead with that, because between positional and personal power, you should always be leading with personal versus position. Like everybody can see that I'm Chief Gilbert when I walk around the base.
Right.
They know that. But if I'm leading, I have to say, this is Chief Gilbert and you will do this, then I have failed already.
Man, we just said that.
Yeah.
I just think so if it's somebody that I haven't met yet or I'm not really familiar with, I will approach them like I would anybody else that I knew. And if they take it the wrong way, or if they take it a certain way because they're a different they receive things differently, they'll see that that's my norm. And they will adjust. At least in my head, that's what I don't change how I address people. So they'll see that was just business and keep it moving.
No, real quick, I guess the transition from when was the hardest rank or the rank that you learned the most from?
I'm gonna say tech sergeant. Like tech sergeant was my favorite rank. I don't know why, but I felt like I had the most influence on my teams whenever I was a tech. And then when I became a master, people treated me differently than as a tech. And I don't know if it's because you're not quite a senior NCO when you're a tech yet. But then when you pin on master, you have to know everything.
Amen to that.
Yeah. You became
it
they.
is mind-blowing.
You became
Yes.
they when you made master.
Yes, 100%. And they expect you to know everything. And
Yeah.
the reality is you're still the same person you were when you had E6 on yesterday.
Yeah.
But so I'll say that tech master area was probably the toughest one for me. And I'm still growing every single day, every day.
100%.
Andy, what you got?
So I think for me, it was staff sergeant. And I say that because I was at my first base for 7 years and I grew with my peers and we all sort on kind of together. I made staff my second time. But I struggled because my friends that were still airmen, they would test me every day as I used to test NCOs when I was an airman. Hey, I need you to do that. They're like, no. I'm not, for real, like, I'm not planning. I need you to do that. Yeah, no. I'm like, okay. So I struggled a lot with that. And I think I didn't own the Air Force till my 8-year mark as at my second base. Because, you know, when you PCS in, like when I got here, I was a chief and they're like, oh, we thought you were chief for X money. They don't know how long you've been a chief, right? They just know, hey, you're. So when I got to my second base and I was a staff sergeant, they treated me as such. And it allowed me to not feel as much pressure, I would say. Right. And I actually get to grow in it. So for me, it was staff sergeant.
Yeah. What about you, man? I hit you with that question. What was your strike?
Oh man, why you gotta hit me with that?
Hey.
I really want to say tech sergeant was really my most difficult one. And realistically, I'm gonna say the competition, but it wasn't the competition for rank, it's the competition to keep up with y'all. I think I never knew how far I was behind till I saw people like you and War and Dante, and we can go name for name, Brown and everything. And I'm like, God dang, like I thought I was top notch. I thought I was the man around here. And I started seeing how y'all moving and y'all do. I was like, oh God, but it was never a competition like I gotta pull them back to move up. It's like, shoot, I gotta pick myself up. Yeah. I gotta start looking myself in the mirror and moving forward. So I really have a lot to thank y'all at the same time for pushing me when y'all probably just doing day-to-day stuff. And I'm thinking, you know, when I wake up in the morning, I gotta look myself in the mirror maybe 2 times, make sure I look sharp, you know, make sure everything's on point instead of just walking out the house like, all right, I'm ready to go to work. Yeah. What about you? Go ahead.
I wouldn't say tough. The toughest stripe, I think mine most interesting was tech. Because same thing, like I was surrounded by these guys, you know what I mean? So it was like, I got people, you and K9, you know, Burnett, you had different personalities. Burnett was quiet, you know, War was more humble and stuff. So I had a bunch of different personalities that I can kind of tap into. I'm from Jersey, I'm from Northeast, so we know aggressive and be loud, you know what I mean? So when I start getting around these guys and I got to take a piece of y'all puzzle, you know what I mean? And just kind of make it a whole picture for me. Like, okay, I know where I can use this, I can use that, I can use that.
That's how iron sharpens iron.
Yeah. And I'll say the last thing, like looking up to the masters, like, you know, Nick Jack was there and everybody like that. Like, how am I gonna? I feel like I'm gonna make it at some time, right? I'll be completely honest with y'all, and maybe that's a little unhumble of me, but whatever. I feel like I was gonna make it there sometime, and I'm like, how the hell am I gonna act like this or be able to be like that? Because that's not me. You know, I'm looking at what they do and how they operate. And I'm like, man, I didn't even think about saying that. Like when we're, you know, mentoring or something like that, like that didn't even cross my mind. Like, how am I gonna be able to do that? And so I think that's the hardest part as well.
I think Chief Wiener said it best. Just be you. Don't stop being you. You know, now that was the one thing. We just don't stop being you. You can take pages from other people's book to help you grow, but your foundation is always who you are. Yeah. So that's what helped me, man. I had fun, you know, as a tech sergeant and learned a lot and got to take care of a lot more people. So it was a great time.
Yeah. Can you read that question? That's a long one.
What we got?
From Chief Golf.
He said, my brother Chief Gilbert, how do you define? That's a 2-part question, so I read the wrong. How do you define success to a brand new airman as they join your formation?
Great question. So I think you need to get to know that airman. So if a brand new airman asks me that, I would say, you know, success manifests itself in different ways. Success for me at this point in my career is the success of my subordinates. Whether they get to my level and pass me, either way, I'm pulling them up and then pushing them up the ladder. Right. But success, you got to know who you are first. When I joined the Air Force at 20 years old, I had no clue who I was. My wife, Gigi, shout out to Gigi, she helped me realize who I was. Yeah. And once you figure that out, then you can define it on your own. As far as success in the Air Force, again, that's different. Some people, if they're airmen, get awards, if they're airmen, get promoted. But for me, success is seeing my people succeed.
Mhm.
Chief Wiener, what you got?
So I mean, spot on, Andy. Like he's 100% right that success is personal, right? Like what might be successful for me might be different for you. You know, like a lot of people, they need just like what motivates you, right? It's the same kind of thing. Like what's your motivation? Is it the award? Is it the strat? Is it the time off? Is it, you know, you name it, right? And yes, I have to give a shout out for my coworker right now, Master Sergeant Jenkins. Like I just got here 3 months ago, and I mean, this lady is phenomenal. She's killing it, working hard, and you know, everywhere we go, people write different, right? So
Right.
I took all of her amazing accomplishments, and I wrote a package, and I'm gonna say, yes, she won for Global Strike, and I was so pumped. I'm like, I'm telling you, I couldn't have been more happy. Woo! I was so pumped, and that, just like Andy, I told y'all, we twins all day.
Yeah.
It's our teams. When your team wins, we win. You know, like So
100%.
yeah.
As always, like I said, we thank y'all for supporting. Thank y'all for being here with us. Thank y'all for continuing to spread the word for us. This won't be the last, Chief. Well, you already know this ain't this ain't your first or your last. And Chief Wiener, this won't be your last. But we definitely appreciate y'all. We'll definitely get something together to have y'all on. But stay safe, have fun, support, share, and like. Y'all already know who it is. Unpopular Celebrities, as always. Peace.
Bye.
All right, see.